And we're back. We got Pamela in business here today with us. We are starting your 7 days of inversions. So much fun. So first and foremost, I just want to remind you that safety is key. As we work through these things, right, you're gonna have access to these videos forever and ever, so don't feel like it's a one and done. Take a whack if it's a hot mess. Don't worry about it. Move slowly. You can always hit pause, go back to it. Today, tomorrow, the next day, for the next however many days. So try to work mindfully into each of these things. I'm going to show you how to get there. If you don't get there today or this week, not a problem, right? Come back to it, but move mindfully. I'm not there to kind of jump in and assist you, so I really just want to make sure you guys are all being safe about everything you're doing, all right? So clear out some space around your mat. Make sure you're not going to destroy all of your belongings or your ankles, and we'll get started. So have a little bit of fun with this. We are going to start in down dog. So when you're ready, find your palms. Get those biscuits in the sky, and then just take a little inventory about the body, right? Notice what's tight. Getting into most of these inversions requires some mobility in the shoulders, some activation of core in some instances, and then, you know, some mobility, some flexibility in the front of the hips as we get later into the practice. But for today, kind of activating the core, we're going to take Viparita as one option from strength, and we're going to take some shoulder stand halasana and Karnapidasana. But for now, you're going to take your right leg to the sky and take a little three-legged dog. Just find familiar space. If you need to be a little more active today, maybe you're rolling ankles, wiggling toes, maybe you're rocking a little flip dog. You don't have to do anything but breathe. But it's still an option to add on to make this your practice, right? Whatever that shows up being today. So knee towards your nose when you're ready, low lunge. You're gonna reach your right hand to the sky, peel open. You're looking to stretch hamstrings, front of the hips, spine, and a little bit into your inhales. Exhale, drop your palms, and we're gonna step right into standing leg split. Don't worry about the split part of it. More to stretch maybe that right hamstring, to activate a little bit of breath. Peel the hip open, just get a little bit of stretchy here through the side body, anywhere you need it. Maybe it's just through the side of the neck or the inhales. And then exhale, forward fold. Right. Inhale to a flat back for a moment and pause here. You can sweep into airplane arms. Start to rinse some strength in the shoulders. If you have enough room today, you're going to interlace the hands. Get into triceps, elbows, shoulders, rinse, and then exhale, soften as you fold. You don't have to keep rinsing the shoulders as you fold. Maybe it's just gravity that's helping you out there. So a little bit of ease is going to go a long way here. By the time we get to shoulder stand, you're a little more activated, but here, if you can drop your head and your jaw a little heavier, it's going to benefit you later on. So get a good breath. Let it go. We're going to breathe into your flat back to release. And then all the way to standing. Big reach, exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And you can step into chaturanga, or you could step to downward facing. But if you find that heart opener, maybe a little bit slower today, baby back bend. When you're ready, hips are up and back. Left foot is to the sky. Peeling open, do anything, a little kung fu action, whatever you need to get in your body. Get a little bit of energy going. Maybe exhales in particular, starting to rinse some strength into the core. Knee towards your nose as you step to low lunge. We'll take your left hand to the sky. Awesome. If it feels good to find a little more rinse in the shoulders or maybe some movement off the ball of your back foot, remember you have all of your regular practice accessible to you. So knee can be up or down, but you're going to take a generous breath here and then drop palms to step, standing leg split. You're going to get a little into the standing heel. Maybe you're taking a deeper bend in the standing knee so you can drop more of the weight of your torso. Just don't worry about the split part. I think I'm going to start a little petition. We need a new name for this, so if you have suggestions, let me know. I don't think I'll ever get anywhere near split part. But peel your hip open, maybe get a little closer there. Right, again, really the focus is the stretch on the hamstring that you're standing on there. Maybe it feels good to stretch out the side body, all the bits and goodies, but get a good breath. And then exhale, take your fold. We'll take that arm bind one more time. So inhale to a long spine, airplane arms if you want. Interlacing to rinse the shoulders. And then forward fold. A little prep for your shoulder stand, right? You might even tuck your chin a little, whatever works to get a little extra length. Back side of your cervical spine there. And a little bit smoother as you inhale through flat, releasing all the way to standing, and come all the way up side to side, press hips, find all the goodies. But eventually we're sinking right into your Utkatasana. So again, activating the belly, Uddiyana Bandha, you're gonna find that if you move your hips back. You wanna be in the heels, so it's a little more about balance. Forget about regular Utkatasana because we're moving the hips lower and lower. Pashasana first, hips towards the heels. And if you're going over backwards, great, because we are dropping those biscuits right into your boat. Don't break them. Bend your knees though this time, okay? We're looking for the Uddiyana Bandha. So as you recline and roll the shoulders down, lift the gaze, we're just gonna take these little crunchies. Knees kind of pump up towards the heart, 3-ish. It's not about how many you do, but the activation, 2-ish, maybe one more for good measure. And then we're gonna rock back to press palms down. These little hip lifts, yeah, so 3-ish, staying a little bit lower so it's all the low core, hip hinge. You're gonna take one more and pause in Viparita. Or if you love bow, go get you some more of those little boat crunches. So as you let your hips pause, we're gonna start to breathe the feet side to side. So arms come more to a T so you have some active balance. Active in the shoulders, breathe your feet a little over to the right, through center a little over to the left. And we're gonna take about 8 breaths. So you're gonna work at your own pace. It's not about how many you're doing. Maybe you're doing more of a figure 8 movement. Maybe as you come through center, your hips are lifting over the little speed bump. Maybe you're only moving micro movements to really stabilize the low back and the shoulders and the breath. This is however it suits you, right? How do you get into your body? Not necessarily how anyone else is doing it. So you're gonna get another full cycle. And eventually we're gonna peel all the way over into a supine twist. You can let both legs fall, or maybe it feels better to take one leg or bend the knees. Really doesn't matter. What allows you a little more room to sink, a little more room to release 3, because that's part of the key with some of these inversions and arm balances, what appear to be more difficult postures. The trick is, if you will, trick in quotations, requires that you find a little more ease and let yourself kind of settle in a little more. So tricky balance, but we'll find it eventually. If not today, maybe in 80 years. We'll come over to the other side. Sort of like I told Luca, my goal was to qualify for the Boston Marathon. He's like, next year? That's awesome. I was like, no, maybe by the time I'm 80. I'll get older, they'll give me more time, I'll get faster eventually, whatever. So ideally we're practicing this for the rest of your life, so be patient. You get a good breath or 2 here, and then we're gonna come slowly through back to Viparita. Planting, I guess we're gonna come up to boat again. Okay. So it's your new favorite pose. We'll do this before we come fully into it. So a little combo, not just the little boat crunchies, but we're gonna come back and forth between boat and then rocking to press down. But when you press your palms, instead of just lifting your buns, you're gonna try and press up from strength, shoulder standish. So you're gonna cycle through a couple times, a little bit of momentum, but mostly from strength. So you're not pressing hands to the back of your sacrum yet. All from core, all from biscuits, all from pressing into that Tadasana foundation. We're gonna get 2 more cycles. Take 1 more to press. And as you come down towards your bridge, we're gonna come down onto your back. You're gonna have Pamela scooch a little forward so you're not ending up in the plant, but feet underneath your knees. So a little bit of active recovery. As you press your hips to the sky, we're gonna give you 2 options. One is for a supported bridge to supported Viparita, which will eventually help you towards your bridge. You'll notice you'll be a little bit higher. So the first thing Pamela did, you'll notice, is work onto the tops of shoulders, right? You can press into your elbows, top of your head, and wiggle a little those bird wings underneath you. If you have access to some blocks or a stool or anything that works, honestly, to get underneath you, you can stay here, or you can bring one leg up at a time to Viparita. So obviously a little higher version, but building towards some space for your shoulder stand. Notice that the sacrum is still on your mat, so you're more of an L, you have kind of a tilt in the tailbone. Now you could stay here and hang out, get all the benefits, otherwise we're gonna work a little bit deeper. If you are on board for that, you can, when you're ready, bring one leg down at a time. Press up into your bridge first, we're gonna get the blocks out from underneath you. And this time as you come up towards your bridge, hips press, those low ribs press to the sky, and one leg at a time you can kind of press up right into your shoulder stand. Now elbows are kind of tucked underneath you. Core is strong. Yeah, and pressing at your sacrum so that eventually you're getting your hips over your shoulders. And over time we're working ankles over hips. And you have those little stiletto pump feet. So balls of feet press up, toes curl down. And you want to make sure you can breathe here. So you're obviously trying to watch a video or you're listening. You want to keep your gaze to the sky. So first thing we're doing is protecting your neck. 4 breaths. See if you can find a little bit of ease here. Mostly we're starting to notice the reach up through the hips. So this lift that we want to keep moving through the sits bones. As you take one leg at a time, reach towards the wall behind you, Halasana. If that feels okay, you feel stable, you still have breath moving, those sirens. You can work your feet to the ground. If your toes reach, great. If they don't, great. If it feels comfortable, you can walk feet out towards a straddle stretch, as wide or as not wide as they go. And then you also have an option to walk both feet kind of over to one side. See what that's like. You want to keep your sits bones reaching straight up to the sky. You can check out the other side. Again, so long as you're breathing, maybe you just are hanging out in your Halasana. Now, I can't take my legs in lotus while seated, so I won't ask Pamela to. There is an option to take lotus here. Good gracious, don't do it. If you want to try for it, or yeah, Supta Baddha variation, see what's possible. Otherwise, so long as you're still breathing, we're going to bring our knees to our forehead or towards the ears for Karnapidasana, also known as deaf men's pose. Still sits bones are reaching. Maybe notice how much work is there. Maybe you're busting a sweat. Maybe you're working a little harder to breathe. We'll take 3 breaths. Now that you've actually taken the full posture, we'll come back to do that little boat to shoulder stand press, rolling slowly out, rocking up to your boat. We'll take this just one more cycle, so maybe you have a little more access to press. All by surprise for Pamela, so probably the same with you. Rocking back to press palms and pressing shoulder stand. We'll do that a couple of times. If you prefer the little tucks of knees for strength, just working slowly. We'll take, how about one more cycle? Nice job. Press and rock up. Press, 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 press. And come back down for your child's. No, I keep calling it child's pose. Happy baby. Also an inversion. Similar benefits. You'll notice just a different energy. So to get us started, we have Viparita, child's pose, shoulder stand with options for Halasana and your Karnapidasana. Right? So you can come back to this again and again. But eventually you're going to start to lower yourself all the way down to your mat. You can take straight up Shavasana, just sprawl out. Nothing to fix. You might feel better taking feet to touch and knees splay wide. But close your eyes for a moment. Feel yourself sink a little deeper on every breath out. You know, you can feel your heart rate, feel a little bit of beads of sweat. It doesn't take a lot. Sometimes we just need a few breaths, a few minutes, maybe 15 or 20. But you can let this be a little bit of reset for the rest of your day. And hopefully if you were taking this before bed, maybe you were erring on the side of a little more viparita or something a little more soothing. But you can feel free to take this whenever you need a little shift in your day. About 5 really good breaths. It's probably not shoulder stand, but viparita, happy baby, is a recovery pose. Having your feet up is a simple act of shifting blood flow. Makes it a little easier for your body, your heart in particular, to pump blood to your brain and your organs, which is primary #1 concern. So just a subtle shift. If you have time and room or just simply really need to be here for a little bit longer, stay and hang out. Otherwise, you can bring yourself gently to a seated position. Maybe your eyes are closed, maybe your gaze is set, but with a little bit of appreciation for this body of yours. It's gonna do some pretty fun things this week. And so with gratitude, right? You got some limbs, you are still kicking, so that's the good news. Full of potential. Palms to heart center. And moving them to forehead center. Let's take a long breath in to fill up. As you exhale, we bow and we say namaste. So have a little bit of fun with this week and be good to yourself and the rest of your furniture that's around. So we'll see you soon. We'll see you tomorrow, right? Toodles. Thanks, Pamela.